Here's a book from our church library titled Reuben and the Quilt. The author is Merle Good and the artist is P. Buckley Moss. I'll read a little bit of it. One day Reuben was sweating in the strawberry patch, trying to fill his box with yummy red things without eating them all. He was thinking about Splotch and Blotch, Sam and Ben's new puppies. Sam and Ben lived on the next farm. The twins were his best friends. Father stood up straight right there in the middle of his row and said, "A log cabin, maybe?" Reuben couldn't figure out what his father meant. Like usual, his mother seemed to. "I know just the colors," Mother said. It was quilt talk, of course. Later that night, over at the twins, Reuben and Sam and Ben played with Splotch and Blotch. "Our grandfather has to go back to the hospital again," Sam said. Reuben figured out that's what gave Father his idea about the log cabin quilt. Father and some of the neighbors decided to have an auction to help pay for the expensive operation. And Father was suggesting that he and Mother and Reuben's 5 sisters, and maybe even Reuben himself, should make a quilt to sell at the auction, a log cabin quilt. Mother came home from the store delighted about the lively new quilt fabric she had discovered. She marked the pattern on the fabric, cutting and sewing. It seemed like so many log cabins when Reuben looked at the whole thing, each with a cozy fireplace in the center. "Go find something to do," Annie said, but Mother grabbed Reuben's arm as he went by. "Sit down here and put in a few stitches," she coaxed. "We are giving the quilt to your friend's grandfather. You should help a little." It was the first time that Reuben quilted on a real quilt. "My stitches will probably be too big," he complained. He knew that quilters made small, tight stitches. "You're doing fine," Mother said. His sisters laughed. "We can always pull out his stitches and do them right." "No, you won't," Grandfather warned from the corner. "If Reuben's careful and does his best, no one should take out his stitches." The morning after they finished the quilt, it disappeared. Annie said it was Nancy's fault, but Nancy was sure she had brought the quilt back into the house. But Father was a forgiving man. "Maybe the thief is really in need of it," he said after breakfast. "We even sewed pillowcases to match," Annie muttered. Then Father got another idea. "Let's put the 2 pillowcases in a bag and set them out on the picnic table by the road. If the thief is really in need, he'll have to have something to lay his head on when he's sleeping under our quilt," Father said. "What if he's just greedy?" Reuben asked. "Then we'll forgive him. We can always make another quilt." "Not before the auction," Annie groaned. "Sometimes if you turn the other cheek, it brings out the best in others," Father said. Reuben wasn't sure he believed in this turn the other cheek stuff. "It feels like we're rewarding someone who robbed us," he complained to Grandfather before he went to bed. "It's wrong to steal," Grandfather said, "but how we respond can also be wrong." The next morning, the bag with the 2 pillowcases was back on the porch, along with another large sack. Reuben opened the big sack carefully. He couldn't believe what he saw. "They brought the quilt back," he yelled to his father. He pulled the beautiful log cabin out of the bag as his sisters came running out of the house. Everyone was amazed. But Father just stroked his beard and smiled that half grin of his at Mother. The next week, dozens of neighbors came for the auction. It was a splendid June day, bright sunshine, breeze in the trees, and the smell of freshly cut hay. Several quilts had been donated to the auction. Reuben liked watching them sell, trying to guess which person would offer the most money for each quilt. But it was the log cabin made by his family which brought the highest price. Mr. Ober, who owned the grocery store, gave the top bid. "That's a good price," Grandfather smiled. "That will help with the hospital costs." Mr. Ober almost beamed as he walked towards Sam and Ben carrying the log cabin quilt. "I bought this for your grandfather," he told the twins. "The money will help with the operation, but the quilt is so beautiful, I think you should have it too, to keep him warm and to cheer him up." Reuben heard Mother sigh, that deep sound she made when she was very happy. Sometimes when we decide to help others, there's no telling how much good will come of it. See you soon.